Hello everyone, we are ready for math today and we are on page 315 of your math book and we are working on some word problems today. The top of this page said solve problems backwards. This is not just decimals, it does use some decimals but it's not completely decimals. It is just giving you more practice in reading and understanding how to work word problems. And a lot of these go from having certain information at the end and kind of backing your way up to figure out what you started with. So we're going to talk through these together. And if you would like to read one and then unpause me and come back to see if you have the right answer, that would be a really good way to do this. You could pause me after each problem and try it on your own. I think that would be the best way to check for your own knowledge, okay? But we're going to go through these together right now. Mr. Miller went shopping for clothing with a gift card. He bought 2 shirts at $19.99 each, a tie for $14.49, and 4 pairs of socks at $2.50 each. He has 53 cents left on his gift card. How much was on his gift card before he went shopping? So do you see how this is a backwards one? We want to know what he started with. So we have to add up all of the totals that we have. So we have $19.99 twice. So my easy way to do this is $19.99 is just 1 penny less than $20. So $20 twice would be $40. And then I'm going to take 2 pennies away. So that would be $39.98. So do you see how I did that? I doubled it and then I took a penny away for each amount. A tie for $14.49. And 4 pairs of socks at $2.50. Okay, now I know that 25, 4 times 25 is 100. So if I do $2.50 and $2.50, that's going to be $5. And then another two $2.50s will be another $5. So 4 pairs of socks is going to be 10. And he has 53 cents. So we have to make sure we add that too, because that's what's left on the card now. So let's double check and make sure we have everything. 2 shirts, a tie, 4 pairs of socks, and 53 cents left. Okay, so adding 8 and 9 is 17, plus 3 is 20. Carry my 2. 9 and 2 is 11, plus 4 is 15, plus another 5 is 20. Uh, 9 and 2 is 11, plus 4 is 15. 3, 4, 5, 6. So he started with $65 on his gift card. Okay? All right. Brooke returned home at 2:15 p.m. She was at the dentist office for an hour and 30 minutes. Her travel time was 40 minutes. What time did Brooke leave home? Okay, so we're backing up. When did she leave if this is when she returned? So we have she was an hour and 30 plus 40, because 40 was her travel time. So we want to add this first. So that would give us 1 hour and 70 minutes, which we need to change to be what? 2 hours and 10 minutes. Because we take away 60, right? So that's not the answer. That's how long she's been gone. So if I back up 2 hours and 10 minutes, okay, so let's back up 2 hours. That would give me 12:15. Let's back up another 10 minutes, and that would give me 12:05. I'm going to start trying to type these. So she left at 12:05. Okay, do you see how I did that? I figured out how much time she was gone. Then I went backwards in her time. Reuben worked 1/2 the amount of time that Jonah worked. Jonah worked 8.34 hours. How many hours did Reuben work? So Reuben worked half of that time. So we are going to divide 8 and 34/100 by 2. So 2 goes into 8 4 times. No remainder, right? It would turn out to be 0. 2 goes into 3 once. I would have a 1 as a remainder and then bring down the 4. 2 goes into 14. 7. So 4 and 17/100 of an hour would be your answer. Lane worked 1/3 the amount of time that Jonah worked. How many hours did Lane work? So let's go back to Jonah. Jonah was the 8. And we want to divide that by 3 now because he worked 1/3 of his hours. So 3 goes into 8 twice. 2, bring down the 3. 3 goes into 23. 7 times. Bring up your decimal. Give 2, 4, 24. 3 goes into 24. 8 times. So he worked 2.78. Okay? All right, now let's look at the back. Mr. Calhoun picked 75 ears of corn from 3 rows in his garden. He picked the same number of ears of corn in the first and second rows. He picked 27 ears of corn in the third row. How many ears of corn did he pick in each of the first and second rows? Okay, so now let's back up. Let's think through this again. He's starting with 75. Okay? He, from the first row, or the third row, he picked 27. Okay, so we can subtract those. So let's subtract 75 minus 27. When we do that, okay, what do we get? We're going to borrow from that 7. That's going to become a 6. 15. So that's going to be 48 when we subtract. So there are 48 left, but there are 2 more rows. Okay, and there he picked the same amount in those 2 rows. So we're going to take this 48 now, and we need to split this 48 into 2 even rows. So that would be 2, and that would be 4. So there were 24 ears of corn in each of the first and second rows. Martin has collected 137 marbles. 27 are orange, 32 are green, 18 are yellow. Of the remaining marbles, there is an equal amount of red and blue. How many marbles are blue? Okay, so we have to figure out what he has so far, right? He has 27, 32, and 18. Okay, add those. 8 and 2 is going to give me 10 plus the 7. 3 and 3 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. Okay, so he has 77. Now, that's the other colors. 137 minus 77 is what we're going to do next to figure out what the red and blue is. So 7 minus 7 is 0. I can't do that. Okay, so it's going to be 60. Now there are 60 left, but that 60 is red and blue. So if there are equal amounts, how many blue do I have? 30, right? Because I'm going to split that 60 into 2. And when I do, that's going to leave me with 30 blue. Ian worked outside raking leaves. He finished the job at 4:45 p.m. It took him 1 hour and 15 minutes to rake the front yard and 2 hours and 20 minutes to rake the backyard. What time did he begin raking the leaves? Okay, so I want to add, and I can probably do it just by looking here. I want to add these two amounts together. So that's a total of 3 hours and 35 minutes. 3 hours and 35 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards 3 hours on this 4. So if I go back 3, that's going to put me at 1 o'clock. And then I want to take away 35 minutes off of this 45. And that would leave me with 10. So he started at 1:10 p.m. Okay, and I added those and then I just subtracted it from that time. All right, I hope you were able to follow along. I hope you tried some of them on your own and then looked at me for the answer. What I would like you to do now is make up your own word problem. It does not have to use decimals. It can be addition, it can be subtraction, it can be multiplication, division. I would like it like these. I would like it to have a couple steps. Okay, so think it through. Make sure that you know that you're asking something that can be figured out and that is logical, that makes sense, and that can be something that would be an everyday problem. That's what word problems are. What time did he start? What time did he leave? How many marbles does he have left? Okay, so use some of these maybe as a model for what you want to do, and then make up your own word problem and leave it below in the comments.